functions of our life. Our pelvic health incorporates the function of our pelvic floor muscles, our pelvic organs, bladder, bowels, and uterus, as well as our abdominal muscles, breathing muscles, and the pelvis itself. However, it is important to acknowledge at this stage that we should never view any one part of our body in isolation, and therefore you will hear me talking about how our pelvic health interacts with other parts of our health as we go through the chapters. I always love to consider the World Health Organization's definition of health, which is, health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. This helps to remind us that health is not only important when symptoms pop up, but actually at all times. The trouble with our pelvic health is that we are often not fully introduced to it or its importance until we fall pregnant. Someone mentions, don't forget to do your pelvic floor exercises, maybe hands us a piece of paper, and off we go to Google, how do I do pelvic floor muscle exercises, and where even are they? Or we just don't think about them again until maybe we do a big sneeze and out comes a wee we were not expecting. The outrage I hear from women when they start to experience these unpleasant and often embarrassing symptoms about why they were not told about the importance of their pelvic floor muscles earlier is very understandable. Our information and education need to be better and need to happen earlier than pregnancy. The average age of a pregnant woman is 31. So a significant amount of life passes before we are even introducing women to their pelvic health and pelvic floor muscles, and even then, we're not doing it that well. There's been a call to change this, with some recent guidelines stating young women aged between 12 and 17 should be taught about pelvic floor anatomy and pelvic floor muscle exercises as part of school curriculums, and that we should encourage women of all ages to do pelvic floor muscle training, as it helps to prevent symptoms. I hope we see this change in years to come. But what about the rest of us? My aim in this book is to help you understand your pelvic health in a new way, shine a light on areas you had no idea about, and think about pelvic health as something we can embrace for life. That can help to boost us forwards rather than drag us down like a ball and chain. So why have I written this book for you? A lot of the symptoms we may experience that relate to our pelvic health are still a bit taboo, making them very hard to open up about and share. I totally understand that, and there is no pressure from me to make you reveal all. All I want you to know is that if you are struggling, there is help. There are people out there, like me, that talk about incontinence, sex, and doing a poo like we talk about the weather, and you don't have to suffer in silence or feel lonely in your experience. Symptoms like incontinence, pain during sex, struggles to open our bowels, and living with ongoing pain can have a huge impact on our mental and emotional well-being as well. Therefore, when we care for your pelvic health, we are caring for so much more than the physical structures of your pelvis. I'm all about helping women to connect the dots about their health and understand how different parts influence each other. That is the foundation of this book. My story. My passion for pelvic health is shaped by my professional journey through my physiotherapy career, as well as my own personal journey with my own pelvic health in more recent years. So where did this love of talking about pelvic floors, wee and poo begin? Back in 2009, I left university as a 21-year-old, convinced I was off to work in London and over time would be physio to the English rugby team. Every girl's dream, right? I did move back to London, which is my home, but at the time, getting a physiotherapy job was as easy as winning the lottery. Competition was high, job vacancies were low, and it was a matter of taking what you could get. That is exactly what I did, and I was offered a junior position at Chelsea and Westminster Hospital. When you start out as a physiotherapist, you need to gain experience in all areas of the profession, and so you rotate every few months into a new area. I took the job without any idea of what my first rotation would be. But guess what? That's right, it was in pelvic health. My first response was, oh no, I had not been taught anything about it during my university.